Okay, welcome back, everybody. It is time for Marvis, which everybody seems to be very excited for. And understandable. He is uncomfortably sexy. I am not gonna lie. That is quite a lot of sex radiating from this person. On the other hand, seeing as how he is a purple blood, I have got to assume that some of these routes are going to end in death, because like both of the purple bloods we've met have had routes ending in death. In fact, now in the last arc, spoilers if you haven't watched my video with Fozer, since we now know that time shenanigans are in play, like the handmaid is somewhere out there floating around messing with things. It seems to me it's entirely possible that we'll have a route where every single route ends in death. Like it's entirely possible that every route with Marvis, or anybody, any troll really, every single route is going to end in death of the protagonist, and then he's somehow going to remember bits and pieces of those timelines anyway in future arcs because of whatever time shenanigans that the handmaid has got cooking up. But anyway, that's just a random observation I thought of in light of the last arc. But at least one failure is going to end in death because Marvis is a purple blood, and that's how purple bloods do. Like even Karako's arc, Karako was the good hawk boy, and we still died. So, yes, purple bloods mean death. Anyway, you find yourself ambling down the road without any particular destination in mind. It seems you don't have much active searching to land yourself in You don't have to do much active searching to land yourself in various combinations of adventure and/or disaster. Where will the versatilities of fate lead you next? Who knows? You walk for a while like that. You've just about lost all hope of running into a wacky contrivance when your palm husk lights up with the delightful and/or foreboding sound of friendship. Somebody is calling you. You're less excited to see the person who happens to be calling you, to see that the person who happens to be calling you is Zipporah. Oh, good start. It's not that you dislike Zebra precisely. It's just that you might struggle to rank him above literally any other troll you've met, including the yellow guy who loves genocide. Oh, dear lord. But, you're not one to leave a friend hanging. You dutifully answer the call. Ah, my good friend, you picked up. Awfully quickly, I might add. Yeah, just love friendship. You ask Zebra why he's calling. Do I need a reason to call? Yes. Is the thrill of dialectical riposte not... I have no idea how to actually pronounce that word. I've never... Riposte. No, there we go, that's it. Is the thrill of dialectical riposte not cause enough to make social interactions with one of my dearest adversaries / friends, or maybe more, depending on whatever you feel comfortable with and interested in at any given time? Jesus Christ. You have no idea how to even respond to that. Nah, I'm just fucking with you. I stand to incur material gain from your association. I need you to stay right where you are. Hey, cat found the toy. Good for you. Well, what are you going to do? Hang up? You stand right where you are and stay in the line. You ask what Zebra is up to, but he won't say. Tells you he needs to concentrate. Eventually, he notices a strange shape resolving the distance down the road, drawing nearer, slowly but steadily. After a long while of waiting, the figure in the distance grows close enough for you to tell that's Zebra. Oh, that's you, you say. It looks like he's riding on some kind of incredibly cursed hover Segway. Yeah, I'm coming, sweetie. You would say it takes maybe 15 minutes or so for him to make it the entire way over on his hover scoot. There you are. It's a good toy, isn't it? Impressed by my new ride? No. Oh yeah, you say you're very impressed? I knew you would be. I brought it out because tonight is a very special night. Or it would be if you'd been so kind as to make me the happiest troll. If you'd be so kind as to make me the happiest troll on Alternia. Is he, like, proposing to you? What? Never mind. You ask him what he's, vague blogging about? What indeed? The real question of what are you doing the real question of what are you doing this evening? Well, it's not like you've ever had any plans to do anything besides stupidly bumble into ludicrous ludicrous boondoggle after another. Seems like whatever he's alluding to inviting you to probably fits the bill for being included in your long itinerary of unspecified dumbass bullshit you are bound to get embroiled in anyway. Good point. Gonna turn the music down a little bit. There we go. Fantastic. Well, it just so happens I managed to get my hands on 2 tickets to Clown Fest XXRX. And I thought who better to take along than my dearest alien associate of unspecified nature. Well, he's just using all of the signs. He's not picky. He just wants all of the quadrants. Whatever quadrant fits best. I like the phrase ludicrous boondoggle. You have no idea what Clownfest XX Rex is, but it's not off to a good start with the name. Oh, I should have known you wouldn't be familiar with it. It's a little sophisticated for an off-world reprobate such as yourself. It's a music festival centered around purple blood performers. Now, normally I wouldn't trifle with high blood entertainment, disgustingly oppressive as it is. But when you think about it, aren't clowns the most disprivileged class of them all? Here we go. You don't ask him to explain what he means by that because everyone would be really angry reading it. Protag has found wisdom in his meta-knowledge of the narrative. You don't ask him to explain what he means because everybody would be really angry reading it. It's a great fucking line. Yeah, just casually breaking the fourth wall there. Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's like the Protag has been breaking the fourth wall a lot ever since they met Boulder. It's been getting more and more obvious with every passing Let's Play. Like, ready to toss your meaty moral body into a clown pit to get moshed to death or whatever? Find something else to do. That sounds less fucking awful. Well, this is clearly the wrong answer, so we'll... Well, wait, no, because it's Zebra, so... Actually, this might be a non-choice, because like, Zebra always does the opposite of what you want, I remember from his route. So this might just be a non-choice, but I'm gonna give this a shot anyway and see what happens. Well, you can't say that the invitation isn't tempting. Going to a writhing gathering of violent gestures certainly sounds like a recipe for a stimulating time, but what if you didn't throw yourself blindly into obvious peril for once in your incredible, painful life? Pass. Oh. Zebra sighs heavily. He looks completely destroyed. Despite yourself, you feel a pang of guilt in your chest. I see. I guess that's fine. I'll just have to find someone else to facilitate my brush with greatness. What's that supposed to mean? You don't bother to ask. When you don't give in to his obvious guilting either, Zebra seems to accept his fate. Whatever. I can't believe I came all the way here on my hover scoot just to be callously rejected like that. Well, I guess I'll see you around, hotcakes. Zebra powers back up his little scooter, gearing up to go. But when he tries to lean back so the machine will start heaving in reverse, something is wrong. The scooter just won't move, no matter how many times he slaps the control panel on the handlebars. You ask if it's broken. What? No, it can't be. It's brand new. It was just working a minute ago. Maybe I'm in the wrong mode? Zipporah hammers the buttons on the control panel for a bit with no luck. Damn, maybe it is the motors. So Zipporah tries leaning forward to check it out. That's not the problem at all. In fact, as soon as he pushes his weight against the control stick, the scooter surges forward. It collides with your frail human body, knocking you to the ground, and there's too much momentum in the motion for Zipporah to stop there. The jets underneath the scooter rake over your bubbled body, incinerating you and killing you instantly. Well, I did predict that there would be at least one death in this episode. I just didn't expect it to happen before I even got to the purple bloods. I love it. Anyway, it's like, yeah, to the mosh pit. I knew you'd be there for me. It's not the universe Doc Scratch is personally spiting me. That's entirely probable. Alright, let's go. Zipporah invites you to hop onto the back of his scooter so you can head to the Clown Fest. You say you're not sure this is the most effective avenue of locomotion. Zipporah tells you that it's all the rage and not to be a little bitch about it. So let me tell you a little about my plans for tonight. That was the good ending. We don't have to hang out with Zipporah anymore. Also fair. It feels like the scooter is going even slower than it was when he arrived, now that it's struggling under the rate of 2 people. You see, my favorite rhyme juggler on the planet is going to be there tonight. His name is Marvus Xoloto. You might have heard of him. He's pretty famous. You say you've never heard of him because you're an alien? Oh, right. Well, he's only the best in all of Alternia. Excuse me. He came up a few sweeps back when he won first place on Slam or Get Cold. Oh, please tell me you at least know about the Slam or Get Cold. You do not know about Slam or Get Cold? I love that. I love it. I love how it's like triple spade. That's how much disdain he has for you for not hearing of Sing or Get Cold. Well, it's a bi-sweeply reality program where aspiring slam poets compete to prove who has what it takes. It's really cutthroat stuff. I mean, I think there are at least 5 decapitations a season. The competition is all about skill. No matter the blood color of who is competing, the troll who wins is the troll who has the nastiest flow and dopest bars. Everyone has an equal shot. I mean, sure, a high blood has won every season to date, but it's basic biology that clowns are better at rhyming than anybody else. Even if high bloods were low bloods, that would still be true. That's equality. No. Yeah, it makes sense. You think this is really progressive stuff, he's saying. Where could he have possibly gone so educated and smart? Oh, you flatter me. Anyway, as you know, I am deeply connected in the music industry. But because of oppressive hemospectrum systems, I'm afraid I'm only truly afforded downward mobility. The clown sphere is a really insular, tight-knit community. Whoops. Bumped my mic there. Whoopsies. But with the right hustle, I'm going to break that glass ceiling. Marvis is the perfect troll to bring me into the fold. Zebra showing his usual impeccable understanding of social justice. Yes, indeed, chat. Yes, indeed. You say this guy sounds pretty brutal. Are you sure you want to actually meet this clown? What, Marvis? Ha! I mean, sure, he does what he needs to survive in a rigidly ossified power system that could never be truly dismantled by the actions of a single individual. But that doesn't mean he supports it. Contrary to what you might think, Marvis is a spectacularly subversive figure in the industry. If you listen to his music, really listen, you'll hear some borderline revolutionary stuff. I think he'd tear it all down if he could. I might have mentioned it, but being a clown is kind of woke. That's why I've always wanted to probe that think pad of his, really get to the bottom of his radical praxis, and help spread his message of social reform to the masses. And you're going to help me do it. After 4 hours of scrutiny and one excruciatingly detailed, unbroken account of the events of the past 3 seasons of Slamricket Cult, you arrive at Clownfest XX Rex. Oh, this is a cool background. Fago. So I got my Fago right here. I came prepared for this. And a few Purple Blood OCs. Very nice. Very nice. What was that in the background? Anyway. Clownfest feels more like a circus than your idea of a music festival. In the distance is a wide-open field dotted with disorganized masses of people, all gathering before a nightmarish stage you presume to be the site of the evening's main event. The entrance to the festival grounds opens up into something like a parking lot, filled with whimsical tents and people selling various snacks and refreshments. You see a clown juggling what looks like at least 7 hot dogs. Absolutely ghoulish. You're glad Damien isn't there to see this? Oh, I kind of want a hot dog. Zipporah brings you up to the gates, flashing your tickets, and gets you wristbands, and wristbanded and admitted to the festival grounds. Seems like there's still some time before the performance is slated to start. There are some spectators already gathering in the field, but those of more privileged blood castes are lining up around the tents in the lot to buy food and merchandise. While you walk around the festival grounds, you ask Zipporah what exactly he has planned. What could he possibly do to get in good with the clowns? Zipporah takes it as an invitation to whisper conspiratorially into your ear. His breath is hot and heavy against your hearing canal. Zipporah, you thirsty bitch. Here's the plan, my sweet little rust drop. We get in, wait for the show to start. And when Marvis comes onto the stage, really gets into his act, you're going to jump the barricade and rush the stage. Sounds like a good way to get killed. Or at least you're going to try. Of course, I'm going to stop you. I'll tackle you before you make it to the stage, and I'll call you right in front of Marvis and everybody. Oh, calm down. I'm trying to tear down the stereotypes that lowbloods are all simple-minded dullards, and you aren't doing your people any favors by reinforcing the cause of prejudice. You just said you wanted to kill us. Obviously, I'm not going to really kill you. You'll simply pretend to play dead after I heroically foiled your black designs on Marvis. My actions will firmly place me within Marvis's ashen quadrant, so he'll have no choice but to recognize me. And then the clowns will see what a hero I am and praise me and bring me backstage to reward me. It's really a flawless plan, my dear, so if you just do what you're told, nothing will go wrong. Oh, maybe we're going to watch Zipporah die. I'm suddenly excited for this plan. It's a really flawless plan. If you just do what you're told, nothing will go wrong. Okay. Before you can proffer any critique of this caper, the jovial clamor of chatty and revelry surrounding you is pierced by a rising chorus of blood-curdling shrieks. You whip around to ascertain the source of the dreadful sound, but it becomes quickly apparent that those are not screams of pain at all. You know what's up when Zipporah joins in with the ear-splitting squeals. Oh. That's him! It's... There's a lot of problems with this plan, beginning with the fact that it involves Zipporah. That's a bar clown. That is indeed a bar clown. It's the man of the hour himself. An expensively dressed juggalo is making his way through the crowd, flanked by a robust team of hulking indigo bloods. Every aspect of him telegraphs unimaginable celebrity. The purposefully disheveled but fashionable fit of his clothes, the swagger of his step, the 10-man camera crew trailing behind him. He walks with a measured poise, despite the chaos rising around him. Dozens and dozens of young trolls are flinging themselves at his entourage without any apparent concern for their safety. The bodyguards are roundhouse kicking the eager teens into the ground left and right like a bloody blender of adolescent aliens. It's pure carnage. He really knows how to draw a crowd, doesn't he? A minute ago, it was tough to truly grasp the hype, but after seeing him in person, you don't know what that is. You don't know what it is, but this swaggy clown has an undeniable gravitas that commands the attention of everyone around him. It's impossible to look anywhere else. Even the Alternian moonlight seems to endeavor to glint off of his golden accoutrements twice as bright. But he's gone, just as quickly as he arrived, up to the festival stage to set up his act. He leaves a bloody void in his wake. Zipporah is bouncing on the balls of his feet, following the encounter. He clearly can't wait to get up into the pit, and to be honest, neither can you. What is it about a good clown that's so utterly irresistible? Zipporah takes you up to the field spread out before the stage. There are thousands and thousands of trolls already standing around, ready for the show to start. From the looks of the crowd in the back breaking down their tents, there have been rustbloods camping out for days to secure their spot. But even those hard-won locations are much further to the back than where Zipporah is leading you. Hang on, gotta rescue my cat from the fridge. Where? He always does this thing where he jumps up on top of the fridge and then he can't get down because he's an idiot. But even those hard-won locations are much farther to the back than where Zipporah is leading you. There aren't many high-bloods here by comparison, so Zipporah is able to take you to walk right in. Muscle past all the ceruleans and grab a spot by the barricade within maybe 5 minutes to spare, before the show starts. There are some brodies up on the stage, now dashing around to finalize all the equipment arrangements. Oh, shoot. Did you remember to bring your concert diaper? What? Excuse you? Zipporah turns to you with wide eyes. You're awfully close together now, boxed in within the swell of trolls, pushing your bodies closer and closer to the stage. You know, your concert diaper. You don't actually know. You don't have a single clue about your concert diaper. You ask him if he's wearing his concert diaper. He pats the front of his pants, which you know is looking a bit plumper than usual. Of course. You can't just come to one of these things without your concert diaper. Things in the pit can get pretty intense, bro, and you can't leave to use the load gapper after it starts. Man, you're really going to regret not bringing your concert diaper? It's so everyone around. So is everyone around us. Ugh! Before you can even attempt to formulate a response to that, the crowd breaks into thunderous cheering. Your heart skips a beat as you look up. But of course, the clown who's clambering up to the center stage isn't him. Marvis is clearly too hot to blow on the first act. All the same, people are really fired up over this raggedy juggalo. He seems like a serviceable clown, you suppose? He's got enough gold change and is remarkably swaggy. He gets pumping, drops a few bars. It's fine, you guess. He's not your clown. You know, the moment you laid eyes on Marvis, he was the only clown your heart could ever be able to see again. Zipporah leans into your ear and has to yell to be heard over the sounds of the music in the crowd. I've never much liked Rapsislamy's work, to be honest. Sure, the beats are produced well, but he has a very insipid sense of lyricism. Treesa's claim this. Treesa's indefensible military might that. Indefeatable? What the fuck is that word? We get it, you want to harpoon the Harris. We get it, you want to harpoon the Harris. Who doesn't, honestly? We don't need to hear about it all day. A solid 15 minutes of mildly provocative slams later, and old Slamsy is slinking off backstage. As soon as he's done, a new gesture takes the floor. Indefatigable? If you want to get into the music, it proves difficult. Every new act they bring into stage is immediately followed by a hollering earful of Zebra's scathing critiques. Hold on. Yeah. Indefatigable. Okay. Indefatigable. Alright, anyway. You wonder why he's so fixated on getting good with this gaggle of urban, farceurs if he thinks little of their technical and artistic merits to begin with. As you stand leaning sweatily against the barricade, you're starting to wonder if it's all worth it. Could the sight of a single rapping man really outweigh all the physical and psychic agony of waiting and standing and spewing in the heat of the pit? Will you have just endured nearly 3,000 words of hanging out with Zebra for something that will ultimately let you down? Oh, I see. Is that what we're going? Is this all going to be one big bait and switch? What's going on? What's this leading up to? But as the penultimate clown trundles off the set, the taste of the air changes. The lights on the stage go dark. The booming sound system goes quiet, and a tremendous hush falls over the crowd. You feel your heart stop in the silence. You know down in your bones that this is the moment you've been waiting for. From Sea Dweller to Rustblood, nobody moves. The sound of his light footsteps against the darkened stage can only be audible to somebody as close as you. The anticipation swallows you whole. When the floodlights snap back on and illuminate his astounding figure center stage, you feel it. Though yet of modest stature, the lanky juggalo has the presence of a man 1,000,000 feet tall. He radiates a power the likes of which you've never felt before. You feel him inside you, intimately, religiously, indelibly. Yes, this is it. This is your clown. Then he opens his mouth to utter what feels like the most important words you've ever heard in your life. Hey. All hell breaks loose. Everyone is screaming around you. Yeah, you grip tight on the barricade as you stare up at him, glowing, messianic, arms outstretched to drink in the zealous fervor of the crowd, all incited by a single incredibly powerful word. Hey. God, you'll never forget it. What up, guys? Lol. It's pretty much what I would expect from a Purple Blood, to be honest. You jugs ready to cook? You can't help it. You start screaming. You're so fucking ready. Yo, these buddies be baking beans. Shiz. And you all forgot your concert diapers because it's rank out there? You feel racked by shame? How could you forget your concert diaper? You'll never be so foolish again. Quirk is text speak. Yeah, I get that. That's alright. I'ma freshen things up, you hear me? Zebra takes hold of your hand and squeezes it tight. You appreciate the gesture. God, he's so fucking beautiful. You understand. You feel deeply, utterly devastated to know how far out of your grasp he is. Why would a man like that ever even look at you? There's no way someone so tremendous, so magnificent, so extravagant would waste his time offering his friendship to someone as insignificant as you. Oh, this is hilarious. But as desolating as that feeling may be, you aren't ready to put him out of your life just yet. Maybe there are other ways you can be close to him. Listen to his music, follow him wherever he goes, dedicate your life to him. You want to know everything about him that you can. Maybe in this way you can honor him. Befriend him in your own heart, if not his. Is a love one-sided any less beautiful? When the music at last starts to blast through the speakers, you ascend. You ascend, the pain of your legs and your back disappears. You feel nothing but streaming euphoria. You thank the forces of serendipity for guiding you to the glorious epiphany of this beatific singularity. This is fun. I'm having fun giving this way too much gravitas. The show's nothing to scoff at either. You're a highly discerning individual known to frequently make posts online regarding the quality of rap and whether or not those who purport to possess such ability do in fact have the requisite bars. are fully blown away by the act. It's some really good stuff. He's just really going in hard and hot with these raps. Not that intensity is the sole parameter of the quality of his hip-hop. The fire that Marvis is dropping is a broad contemporary performance that would equally satisfy any aficionado of any relevant subgenre. Not a single thing about him is even slightly racist. You're really starting to get into the zone when Zipporah starts to scream in your ear again. You're already going deaf from the concert as it was. I think it's about time we get the show on the road, don't you? Oh dear. Really have no idea what's going to happen here. Go along with Zebra's cowardly and nefarious plan and scam your beloved clown? No fucking way. Well, doing what Zebra wants to do is always a bad idea. So we're going to do that because that's probably going to end in failure. So let's do it, shall we? Enraptured you may be with Marvis's magnificence. A promise is a promise, and you can't let Zebra down. You wait for the right moment and start to vault up over the barricade as quickly as you can manage. You clear the barrier and drop down into the gutter between the stage and the crowd. You're not sure where to go from here. You glance back towards Zebra for guidance, and the crowd has noticed what you're doing. Doing all right. The onlookers are swarming with rage at your insolence. Zebra makes his move. He starts to follow you up over the barricade, but things don't go as planned. You think? Instead of heroically stopping you from making it to Marvis, Zebra is put upon from all sides by grasping claws. They don't recognize what Zebra is trying to do. They think he's just another conspirator trying to join you in your attempt at Marvis's life. You watch in stunned horror as the two trolls closest to Zebra take hold of each of his arms, dig in their claws, and rip them right off. Yeah, called it! Oh, yay! Zebra, retrieve arms from chest. Well, actually, no, it's the true trolls retrieved the arms from Zebra's chest. And they don't stop there. You barely have time to process what's happening until another pair of trolls descend, helping to tear ruthlessly into Zebra's body. His screams don't even register over the booming of the sound system. Fountains of indigo blood spray hot into the humid air. The barricade and the ground all around you are drenched in your friend's gore. You're frozen where you stand in that arid gutter between heaven and hell. This isn't how it was supposed to go, is it? You feel the inevitable press of entropy closing in. The trolls in the audience see you, and they've already had a taste for blood. Your legs are as stiff as rods as the carnage-caked trolls who make short work of your friend begin to vault over the barricade themselves. It seems pointless to run. You're stricken by a consuming sense of deja vu. You've made a mistake, and the universe is going to clean up your mess. The trolls drop down into the gutter with you in advance. You close your eyes and accept your fate. Yo, what's up? Hey! What? You can't believe your eyes. Marvis, in all his majesty, is hoisting you up to the safety of the ground on the grand stage. He's beaming at you with the most beautiful smile you ever. Is this the good path? Oh my god. You can't believe your eyes. Marvis, in all his majesty, has hoisted you up to safety in the grand stage. He's beaming up at you in the most beautiful smile you've ever seen in your life. This development has certainly given the bloodthirsty crowd pause. Marvis turns to them with an unerring grin and shakes his head. Y'all out there trying to kill my buddy? Sometimes I swear my fans are bigger clowns than I am, lol. His adoring legion seems to find that very funny. You're starting to realize you really should have brought your concert diaper after all. Now seems like there's been a big misunderstanding. This just be one of my backup dancers. Hey, hit it, cuz. Show him what you got. He's helping you? You can't say you understand, but you're not about to look a sexy, glorious gift horse and gift clan in the mouth. If Marvis wants you to dance for your life, you'll dance. You start going to town, flossing, shooting, whatever it is the kids are doing these days. A real contemporary breakdown. The crowd goes wild. He's doing the Fortnite dance. Things are really starting to look up for you until a deafening crack sounds through the air and the stage equipment starts to collapse. It all happens quickly. The bolts of all the stage scaffolding burst out of their settings. The lights catch fire, and one of the massive 100-foot screens behind the stage comes loose of its moorings. You'd have been easily pancaked by the huge screen if not for Marvis expertly clown-stepping you and himself out of the way. Half the crowd isn't so lucky. The big screen shatters when it hits the stage, raining a 100-foot area of trolls with vicious glass. Well, it wouldn't be a clown concert without a lot of death. Shiz. Right when things were getting started. But the sound equipment is all obliterated by the sun collapse. Nobody can hear him but you. For a moment, your hero looks lost. Man, we better bounce, cuz. Marvis grabs you by your sweaty hand and runs. He takes you to safety in the performer's green room, which seems to be intact after the collapse of the stage, though the power's out. The room is filled with the clowns who performed earlier. They all look very confused and harried. He's like flash-stepping that clown. I don't know, because, like flash-stepping was a thing Gamgee did all the time. Shit. Things gonna be a madhouse out there for a while. You better... better to just lay low for a bit, I bet. We got out there right now, we're gonna get mobbed. Usually everybody'd be dead at the end of my concerts. Usually everybody'd be dead at the end of my concerts. I wouldn't make it out of there without having to pale with 1,000 teens otherwise. You're a little rattled to say the least. Marvis takes a good look at you. Fuck, man. You shiz yourself? You start to cry. You didn't bring your clown diaper? Your concert diaper? Ah, man, it's alright. Don't cry. Look, you're hardly the first buddy to ever shiz themselves at one of my concerts. I'm used to the smell. Jesus Christ. To be honest, it's comforting. You sniffle and say, really? You wouldn't want to bring even the slightest inconvenience to his wonderful life? Yeah, I'll let it cook. Bring it in, Brohim. You bring it in? The two of you share a nice, malodorous hug. It's hard for you to understand what's going on. Why did Marvis save you, anyway? I saw you was hanging out I saw he was hanging out with that blue bro who's always trying to get his snuff shoot up me in the jug's shiz holes. And then you trying to make a real run for me. Gotta say, that's brave. Gotta ask a buddy where they got the boulders, the bulge rods to try to pull a stunt like that. Respect. Oh, well, it really wasn't much of a stunt. You were just going along with your friend's ludicrous plan to try to scam him into a friendship under false pretenses. But it was a really bad plan. Your friend was killed on the spot immediately. And now you're pretty sure you're cosmically fated to die due to a non-canonical decision. Oh. What, you mean non-canon? Oh my god, this is fantastic. It's like people in my Discord haven't been following along with the Friendsims, and they're missing out. Like, there are Homestucks who don't know that this is happening. Pay attention, people. Homestuck never ended. It's still going. It's right here. I'll just be non-canon, fam. What can it even mean to be non-canonical, where in the context of an inherently extra-canonical framework? Skeet skeet, barap. You're not sure, but you definitely have the sense that some of the decisions within the simulation carry greater values of truth and relevance than others, and that the linear progression of events is rigorously enforced by an obligate narrative flow that privileges those actions which most smoothly facilitate the designs of the story's architect. Sure, you can hear that noise that way. But I say you, the architect of your own fate. Interesting how you use Vriska's quirk there. Inspiring a sermon as Marvis may be spitting. His wise pontifications are interrupted when the clown in the back of the green room knocks over the water cooler. This gets the other clown who is talking to him really pissed, and they start duking it out. It starts a chain reaction that pulls all the other high bloods into a whirling blade picture of clown carnage. Man, what the fuck is going on? It's like you said, you've made a mistake, and the essence of the timeline won't rest until it's put things right. You can feel that it's happening before. You can feel that it's happened before, and it'll happen again. Well, I'm getting the fuck out of here. Come on, Troll Nostradamus, let's skeet-scoot. Even as the inescapability of your demise consumes you, you can't bring yourself to deny him. You follow him out of the green room, fleeing before the clown fight can pull you in and grind you to bits. Out here, you're the one who has to help Marvis. In the open air, it's an unending procession of teen QuickTime events. Some of them are carrying buckets. Do the buckets have spades on them? You just need to keep punching them out until you finally make it to his rich guy clown limo. The driver's nowhere to be seen, so Marvis gets behind the wheel and you hightail out of there. You stick your head out the window and look back. There's a nasty storm brewing in the distance. I love how his chair has his horns on it, and the other ones just all have generic troll chairs. By the way, it just occurred to me that like Marvis's little advice there. It's like, how can this decision be non-canon when this whole thing is non-canon? I just realized that it's kind of like the opposite of the thing Dumbledore says at the end of Harry Potter Book 7. It's like, it's all in your head, but why should that make it not real? It's like, this is all non-canon, so just roll with it. I know somewhere we'll be safe. You make sure to secure your seatbelt. After dodging at least 3 fallen trees, a wayward deer Lucius, and a lightning strike that blasts the hood of the vehicle right off, Marvis brings you to Clown Church. The universe is actively trying to kill us. Well, and by the universe, I mean Doc Scratch and or the Handmaid. You can't say that this place was high in your list of venues you wanted to visit again, but this thing has a fucking budget. Whatever bullshit powers that's coming after you, will have no reach here. Oh, did we find a void pocket? This be hallowed ground, biznatch. What? Marvis leaves the limo on the lawn of the church, and you both hurry out, just in time, because it explodes not 2 seconds after you're out the door. By instinct, Marvis shields you from the fiery blast with his body. What? Huh. Oh no! Marvis! No, you beautiful soul! You're destroyed by guilt. How could someone so tremendous bring themselves to such harm for someone so meaningless as you? You drag Marvis's burned, scorched body into Clown Church, and you collapse as soon as you're past the threshold. You start weeping. Shiz, am I dead? Just a little toasty? You ain't gotta cry about it. God damn. Oh, okay. You help him up and bolt the door behind you. He was right. You do feel safe here. Nothing is collapsing. Nobody's being stricken with a hysterical urge to start a fight. And there's not even a single fire happening anywhere. Also, I love the implication just a second ago. It's like, I'm reading through this really quickly because this is all very exciting, but I love the implication of a few seconds ago that we're just revisiting this location to, like, recycle old background art. The mirthful messiahs be protecting us, buddy. Stay frosty, alright? You help Marvis out over to sit down in one of the pews. You settle down in next to him and gaze up at the imposing architecture. It's not all bad. There's a beauty here. A beauty in being a clown, too, you're starting to see. Maybe you're even starting to believe. You turn to look at Marvis, and his face is ashen and slick with sweat. I think that dip in the grill I had hurt a bit more than I thought. Your heart drops in your chest. You ask if he's going to be alright. As long as I stay in here, we alright. But can you really still stay inside Clown Church forever? You know down to your bones that even if you do, it doesn't matter. It's something about the air. You can't really describe it. Everything just starts to press down, 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 like you and everything around you is sinking implacably into the earth. But the ground is coming up to meet you, too. You start to perspire. The pressure leaves you weak. You slump against Marvis's shoulder. You feel so insubstantial, like the entire concept of your existence is struggling to erase itself. You know this isn't something you can fight. What, are you giving up just like that? You don't know what else you can do. This isn't how things were supposed to go. This isn't how things can be. You can't exist like this. Okay, so we gotta pause for a second because this is reminding me of like another theory. So, you know, like the theory is that like part of the reason why Boulder had such a lasting effect on the narrative is because she's a muse. That she's one of the master classes, or is destined to be one of the master classes in the event that she ever played the game. And I think we might have a lord here. Because Marvis is like way in the know on all of this. You don't know what else you could do. This isn't. You can't exist like this. That depends on what. That depends on what it means to exist, fam. Depending on how you look at it, every branch of the timeline be fundamental to the metatextual structure of the essence of existence itself. Even incidents that falls outside the strict confines of canonical continuity contributes to a metaconsciousness. Metaconsciousness that be built by and could even be said to be the most essential level, defined primarily by the extra-textual exchange of interpretation by those who observe it. And this is very similar to what Dave Petta says at the end of Homestuck. Each path is a translucent fragment that, via mirroring or distorting or magnifying certain aspects of the ultimate reality, folds itself invisibly into the fabric of that reality. People are lagging right now? Oh no. Oh no. Itself immeasurable and intangible, but the space it once occupied, indelible. The observation of ill reality can still inform how reality is to be interpreted, even if that irreality doesn't satisfy even a cursory standard of legitimacy. And the act of contravening continuity can itself provide definition to that very integrity it defiles. Even if what's going down here can't be said to be true, that doesn't mean we are meaningless. Turn up. You don't know about all that, but you tell Marvis you're glad he's here with you. Marvis smiles and puts his arm around your shoulders. In spite of it all, he makes you feel real. It's like, yeah, he's a lord of something. You stare into the effervescent panes of clown glass as they shift and scintillate in your vision. Things are coming apart at the seams. Subatomic concepts scream from the insides of your ears, and the infinity of pure dimension blossoms between the tenuous strands holding the essence of your being together. The terminality of paradox space reaches into you from the inside out and takes hold of reality in its inescapable grasp. Continuity inverts and cascades into a cataclysmic fractal. What happens will happen, and what can't must not. And no measure of hubris from man or clown or god can stymie the cosmic imposition of truth. You close your eyes for just a moment, but when you open them again, there's nothing to see at all. Time paradox. So yeah, Marvis just held off the wheel of paradox space through sheer willpower. Huh. I notice he doesn't have an immediately obvious sign either, so we don't know what his... It's like, do we not, unless we do know what his sign is from some other artwork. Huh. That was weird. Yeah, Marvis broke the narrative for a while. Like, for a long while. Like, everything from the moment he pulled us out of the pit, that wasn't supposed to happen. You know, like, he pulled us out of the pit, you know, he saved us after Zipporah got killed, and everything from that moment forward was the universe trying to kill us and Marvis stopping it from happening. That's some shit right there. That's some impressive shit. There we go. Alright. Saved you at least 3 times from your own death. Way more than 3 times, because there's pulling you out of the pit, there's flash stepping you away from the broken screen, and then there's just the whole escort quest along the way. So, holy shit, Marvis. Okay, well, let's see what happens here, because this is either going to be really quick or another really long route. Are you kidding? You say there's no way you're going to vault over that barricade and try to make an attempt on Marvis's life, fake or not. For one thing, that plan is fucking stupid, and you'd immediately die. Second of all, Marvis is a beautiful artist with the soul of a true poet, and you're not going to help anyone attempt to exploit his celebrity for selfish purposes. You conclusively inform Zipporah that he'll have to find someone else to help him hoodwink sweet Marvis. What's that? I can't hear you already incredibly vicious and beautiful rapping. You tell Zipporah that you're not doing it. You just want to listen to the rest of the concert and enjoy yourself. Zipporah seems horribly taken aback. What? But I thought we were friends. You reassure Zipporah that you are friends, but forming a friendship doesn't necessarily require one to embark upon a ludicrous suicide pact in order to socially hornswoggle rhythmically gifted Mariandrew. You're hardly Thelma and Louise. Get real. You tell Zipporah he needs to find someone else to help him cozy up to the clown's inner circle. Zipporah harumphs offended and decides to go. He starts to push away through the crowd down the length of the barricade. And with that, you're free to turn your gaze back to his mirthful eminence and embrace the new piece you have found in his artwork. Bet Marvis only keeps distributing dope and the crowd only gets rowdier. Before you know it, you find yourself being wrenched into the writhing mass, jostled about and subsumed by the transcendent power of the music. Your pitiful little body becomes nothing but a note in his wicked symphony, a raindrop washed away in the rapids. Some time ago, you might have accepted your fate here and allowed yourself to be trampled by the mob, but you have something to live for now. Even as you feel yourself begin to physically break, those sick beats tether you spiritually to the mortal world. His ruthless bars cut through the heat and the sweat and the heavy stench of piss and meat, drawing you in like a sailor to the siren's song. Not even death could wrench you free of his grasp. In spite of the odds, you manage to muscle your way back up to the floor. You exit the mosh pit a shattered mess, bruised, battered, and broken, hanging on only by the most tenuous of threads. Not even death could wrench you free of his grasp. In spite of the odds, true, we just saw that happen. Not even death could wrench you free of his grasp. In spite of the odds, you managed to muscle your way back up to the floor. You exit the mosh pit, a shattered mess, bruised, battered, broken. As you look around you, you get a glimpse of your fate. You're surrounded on all sides by trolls who have collapsed and been trampled dead, faces frozen in a rickus of ecstasy. Given how lightheaded you feel, you aren't long for this world either, but you can carry on a bit further for him. Wow, he's really something else, that Marvis, you think, as your wasted body slumps against the barricade. It's all you can do now to lift your weak head and stare up at him, drinking up his boundless audio-visual wonder as your vision starts to blur and your consciousness begins to fade. You jerk back to your senses when you feel something splashing over your face. Give the audience what they want. Give the audience what they want. Cast around wildly for the source of the water. To your disbelief, you see that was Marvis. He's standing at the edge of the stage, gyrating his hips to the choreography as he looks down at you in concern. So how did this happen? It's a long story. Hey, I see what you did there, chat. It's like staring into the groin of an angel. He waits for a break in his verse to cover his mic and mouths you. Yo, buddy, you alright? You can't believe how gracious he is. To see a humble fan such as yourself in pain and stop to make sure you're okay. Is this real? Or have you passed into heaven after all? Your gaze tracks up from his well-proportioned crotch to the generous view offered by the plunging neckline of his shirt. You're all right now. You've never been more right in your life. I have not heard the name of the song, but hang on. So, save it for later. I'm in the middle of this. Did I miss something? Marvis jumps off the stage into that impassable purgatory that separates it from the pit, the gods from the mortals, and makes his way over to you. He stretches out his hands. Hey, babe. Want to dance? Your broken bones are no obstacle. Instinct propels you over the barricade into his arms. He catches you like you've both been waiting your entire lives for this moment. You've never felt more warm or safe. He scoops you up with his incredible strength and carries you back onto the stage. Marvis is talking into his mic again, so his words reverberate through the entire field. Look what I got here. Seems like a fucking lowbrow cut through to the front of the line, my friends. Lol. The remainder of the crowd that's still conscious boos viciously. What? What's happening? Oh, you're clearly bleeding red from being stomped in the face several times in the mosh pit, and the murky lights of the stage, it looks awfully burgundy. Someone's been naughty. Yes, you've been so naughty, you say into the mic. No remorse. For damn shame. The crowd jeers. Well, we clearly got a criminal on our damn hands. What do you think we should do with him? Oh man, did my other prediction turn out correct? Is this really going to be a route where every single route ends in death? Any opinions? The response is disjointed, but still functionally unanimous. Amid the clamor, one word keeps ringing out clearly. Kill! 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 Wow, y'all want me to kill him? Shit, that's brutal. I ain't one to let down my fans, you hear me? Justice be fucking done, my merry men. What better way to cap off a wicked night than with a little gutter blood shower? Lol. Well, you're hardly qualified to question Marvis's judgment. If that's what he wants to, if what he wants is to publicly execute you in front of a crowd of his adoring fans, you guess that's how it has to be. You surrender completely as Marvis directs the stagehands to help him erect some sort of makeshift crucifix. You don't struggle as he carries you over and ties you up, suspended above the crowd. All the spotlights shine on you, burning hot. The audience's rapturous screams deafen you. But all you can see is Marvis, approaching you ringed in otherworldly light. His back is to the crowd, so you are the only one who can see his face like this. Intense, focused, merciless. A gaze meant only for you. You've never felt more special. He steps up before you, face to face. You stare into his eyes, enthralled. Such clear eyes. So potent and beautiful. Your only regret is that you can't gaze into them for longer. Jesus. Marvis takes hold of his cane in a fluid motion draws out a rapier sharp hidden blade. The metal glints 1,000 colors in the light of the stage, almost as awesome as he is. You hope he strikes too. Yours will be a magnificent death. But then he winks. A fleeting moment of understanding passes between you. Could it be that Marvis is the friend you've been searching for after all? Or is it a fool's flight of fancy to dream so? He draws in close, rearing up as if to strike, and as he raises his blade, his jacket lifts up too, exposing his vulnerable clown pit. If you leaned in just now, maybe, just maybe you could... Okay. Take a whiff? I have no idea. Just take a whiff? I don't know. You can't help yourself. You lean right into the clown's swampy armpit and breathe in deep. The scent is like nothing you've ever smelled before. It's like the thick flavor of ambrosia glazed over an ogre's must. Weak teriyaki... Wet teriyaki socks sprinkled with a seasoning of pure passion. Powerful, indomitable, and beyond intoxicating. You can't get enough. You sniff. And then you snuff, sucking in as much of that hot salty odor into your nostrils as possible. So delicious. I can't handle this. Oh. A fresh bouquet of exertion brought about by hard, relentless work, freely flowing as the manifestation of his raw talent. You could spend the rest of your life nestled into this jester's fragrant pit, which might be literally what happens. You hope he allows you the indulgence. Were you so bold, you might even ask, you might even take a hearty lick. Ew. How could it possibly taste if the smell alone is so wonderful? Would that you could suck even a single drop of that sweet jester's tang. A hulky tang. MSP has an armpit kink. I think it's really just Marvis. I don't think this has anything to do with armpits and everything to do with Marvis. You imagine some poor Let's Player having to... Oh, fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you, what pumpkin! Fuck you! So hard! God. I hate all of you. Oh. Imagine some poor Let's Player having to read every delectable sentence of these odiferous paragraphs aloud, and you get a little hot and bothered. God, fuck. But you aren't quite that brave. Marvis brings down the blade. It sinks deep into the wood beside your neck. This was no accident. A jester so powerful surely would not miss. He's sparing your life. You're so humbled that your bladder evacuates on the spot. Your urine is as hot in your legs as Marvis's gaze is on your face. You really risk that you'd thought to bring your concert diaper? It's like somebody saying they don't remember that line. It could be coded to detect recording software. That is possible. DDLC did that. Like, there are games that have done that, like have special lines in case you're recording it, but I don't know. Oh, somebody else did get the Let's Player reference, so it does show up normally. They just forgot. They just forgot about it. Okay. That's fine then. That would be funny if that was a special line just for people who are running OBS. But anyway. Marvis gives you a look and then glances pointedly to his cane sword. You take the hint and make an exaggerated reaction like you've just been stabbed for real. You grab at your neck, spluttering, flailing. The high bloods right at the front can tell you haven't really been stabbed, and they're a little disappointed. But it's not as clear to the trolls further back. Somewhere around the mass of teal bloods, the illusion really hits home. They start going fucking bonkers back there. The apeshit rave travels back to the burgundies and then ricochets back home to the high bloods. You crack one eye open as you play dead. This time, it's nothing like the controlled moshing during the performance. This is pure anarchy. Whirlwind of death and brutality. Trolls are at each other's throats, literally ripping each other apart with fang and claw. All the blood spraying into the air makes the humidity really skyrocket. At some point, when the racket becomes less than melodic, the clowns all come down for a final encore to drown out the sounds of the screaming. They start wrapping up a real storm. After about 45 seconds, a full 2/3 of the crowd are completely dead on the ground. It's like that one meme. It's like that one meme about like the motorcycle whirl of dust completely dead on the ground. Anyway. The performance finally ends once every single troll in the clown has collapsed either from death or exhaustion. Only once the audience has worn itself out do the clowns call it quits. They all start filing backstage, but for Marvis, who stops to take you down from the cross. Your beloved crown cradles you in his arms, like the Pieta, gently petting your your blood-splattered face. You hanging in there, fam? You tell him yes, while continuing to play dead. You don't want to foil his ruse. Okay, gravy. He picks you back up and carries you off the stage. The clowns have a little green room set up in the backstage venue where they're all mixing and relaxing after the show. Nobody seems concerned to see Marvis carrying in a 90% dead alien, or particularly rattled after witnessing thousands of trolls savagely cannibalize each other. Hey, you want a sandy? A what? A sando. You're sorry? Grub bread. Sauce sandwich. You say, yeah, sure, you're pretty hungry. Marvis drops you off on a couch and you lounge indulgently as you wait for him to walk to the catering table and pick you something up. He's back quickly. I got myself mixed up there. Think you can move your arms? Your arms or nothing, buddy? You say not really. You're pretty sure all your bones are basically obliterated. Ah, shiz, that's rough. Sorry, man. Guess that's my fault. Lol. Okay, say ah. You don't even question it. You obey him unthinkingly. Ah. You nearly choke when he kneels beside you and starts pressing broken off bits of grub sandwich past your trembling lips. Tears well up at the corner of your eyes. How could somebody like you be so lucky to touch and be held by the closest thing on this mortal plane to a god? You're sure there are thousands, millions of trolls out there who would die to get to experience something like this. It's humbling. What did you do to deserve this? You're so weak from the concert that even moving your jaw is hard, and your star-stricken stobbing doesn't help either. Whenever a sloppy bit of grub paste filling dribbles down your chin, Marvis is right there to catch it and shove it back in your eager maw. He makes unyielding eye contact with you as he allows you to suck the maggoty meat from his fingers. You tell him he's beautiful. Yeah, a lot of people say that. I don't know about all that, though. I'm just a humble rhyme juggler with a lot of cash money and 10 guys filming what I'm doing right now. When you're finished eating your sandwich, Marvis kindly wipes all the mess off your face. He's so gracious you can't believe it. You're so glad that camera crew is here to capture all of this so you can watch it and relive the experience of receiving his kindness again later. You guess you need an answer to the question, why did Marvis decide to save you? Marvis takes a moment to think on it. Well, I guess I saw the guy he was with. And I was like, shit. What a sorry motherfucker. He felt sorry for us because we were with Zipporah. That's great. You know that buddy be bad news, fam. What, Zebra? No way! Zebra's your friend. All of your friends are cool. Dang, cuz, that's raw. You okay? You sick? You real friends with that in-a-dingling? You know he's blacklisted all the fucking way out in Clown Town. What? Really? Why? He's just a saucer climber, mang. That big blue buddy be my most fucking PR piece of shit. PR site. Well, parasite. I thought he was going for an acronym there, but no, just parasite. And he's blacklisted by all clowns. He doesn't seem to know that. Well, we ain't about to go tell his chatty ass. Gonna go and write a wicked nasty review about my bands. So we looking out for ourselves. Us clowns real close knit, you know. Take care of each other and all that shiz. You feel me? You know, if you think about it, clowns really are the most disprivileged socioeconomic class. Watch out for my keyboard cat. You have thought about that, and it's making more and more sense recently. You'd love to engage in nuanced discourse with him about clown privilege or the lack thereof. Yeah, cuz though we normally occupy a position of structural power in the institutional hierarchy of the hemo-spectrum, we be subjugated, not to dampen our powers like no other. Not to dampen our powers like no other. Hi, kid. And we have a cat cameo. Now he's just quoting Zipporah, which is weird. Here. You want to do that? Into. Okay. Subjugating to dampening our powers like no other. Ugh. Good lord. Because the ancients of the Empress and her abyssal hierarchy know that the unimpeded strength of me and my sick nasty buddies would easily unseat $3 as dominant caste. And that purple blood be objectively superior to violet in every metric of strength, power, and influence despite chromatically preceding them. And the only reason we don't rise up and rip fins off their slimy little faces is in the eternities of religious persecution and culturally immutable precedent. Got my headphones all tangled up now. What does that say about the validity of the rest of the system? You consider your mind thoroughly blown. Wow, this guy is incredibly woke. And not the least bit racist at all. You're really inspired by how good he is, both as an artist and a man. What is happening? It's like I just need to take a moment to stand back and say, what is happening? Dan straight. Maybe all the Spectrum needs is a little chaos to shake things up. Really makes you fucking think, you hear me? God, you do hear him. It makes so much sense. He makes so much sense. You make so much sense. Together. Marvus smiles at you as you hold his hands. You don't want to let go. You're afraid you'll never see him again if you do. You're not sure you can live like that. Maybe you can't always be by his side, but maybe sometimes, occasionally? All you want to do is make a friend. Of course I'll be your buddy. Here, why don't you add me on Chitter? Next time I got a show, maybe I hook you up with some wicked tickets. VIP fucking P, B. Rust Emperors represent. Make sure to check out my link in my bio for merch if you're interested. The promise fills you with so much hope and light and joy. You can't believe it. You did it. You've made the greatest, most ultimate friend of them all. Your shining light, your reason for being. Marvis, the truest buddy you've ever had. True buds. Did we just become Marvis's moirail mistress? I mean, maybe. Kind of. It's like I've made this joke before, but like we're basically a moirail slut at this point. And now we do have. There's a very mistress vibe to this little arrangement. Okay. There's still one more route we have to go on, so let's back up real quick and see what happens if we don't sniff the armpit. What happens? What changes? Remember that last scene happened with MSPA Reader being soaked in their own urine? Very true. Respect yourself. Marvis brings down the blade. It sinks deep into the wood beside your neck. This was no accident. A gesture so powerful surely would not miss. He's sparing your life. Oh, is this all the same, just without the, Yeah, it looks like this is all the same, just without the little interlude about sniffing an armpit. Whoops. That's not what I meant to press. Was it... What was... Control the shift? Yep. Yeah, it's all the same. Oh, that's kind of lame. But still... Well, it's like I was close. It just skips the armpit sniffing. Okay, so that was pretty funny. So yeah, you did not have to sniff the armpit. That was not a thing you needed to do to get the good ending. So, well, I was right. I did say that I anticipated death. And we did get death in 2 of the 3 endings. So, hey, there you go. It's even funnier now you know you don't have to sniff his armpit. That's great. So yeah, that was a hell of a route. I mean, it's like the It's like we did get here. Let's go back. Just go back to I'll just get a summation of the evening real quick. So yeah, Fozzers was a little interesting. We got that snippet of time shenanigans happening. But Marvis, Jesus Christ, this route. Like, so much stuff happened. And, like, Marvis is a fascinating individual. Seems to know a lot about everything that's going on in this Friendsim. Does Marvis have a sign that we know of? Because I don't see it anywhere on his person, so I'm wondering if there's an extra canonical source on his sign. If not, then I get to speculate about it, which will be so much fun. No canon sign, so that's interesting. So yeah, it's like, I want to say heart, just because that whole speech at the end there was very, very reminiscent, like almost kind of quoted a large chunk of Dave Petta's speech from near the end of Homestuck. It's like a Lord of Heart is what I want to call this guy. There was a sprite that had his sign on it, but the sprite was deconfirmed. Huh. Interesting. Or mind, maybe? Possible. I don't know. That'll be some interesting stuff to mull over and maybe write up like a theory post about later on. Anyway, that's it for this Friendsim. The stream is not going to end right now, though, because we are going to shift gears, and I'm going to continue playing. Where is it? I'm going to continue playing Save the Light. I played a lot of this last weekend. We got about halfway through the game, a little more than halfway, and so we are going to continue that right now after this short break. So those of you who were just here for the Friendsim, thanks for coming. Have a good night. If you want to keep watching me for a while, we will be playing Steven Universe Save the Light. So yeah. Good night, everybody.